It's a very short presentation. I will talk to you about the current development of the MUSA project, which is, as I told you, the project that won the sixth mission idea contest on the iCubes category. So a little bit about the project. Our current project is called the MUSA project, and it's a project to study the fungus that causes the Panama disease, which is a disease that affects banana plantations around the world, and Trichoderma hercianum, which is its antagonist in a setting of microgravity. This in the hopes of seeing of them expressing different genes because of the stress of the space environment, which will eventually lead to giving us some information that might be useful to eventually develop a cure for the disease. This experiment is thought to go on board of the ISS somewhere in 2023, and we're hoping it will be on board of the iCubes facility. So more recently, what we did, we signed a contract with the Space Systems Laboratory of Costa Rica and with the Central American Association for Aeronautics and Space to eventually send a mission, a suborbital flight to space and test this experiment in real space conditions. This is really important to us because it's the first time that Costa Rica has these kinds of experiments. So we need to test the technology first before being able to send it to the International Space Station. What we're doing right now is working with the Swedish space company to launch the mission to space. It will be a suborbital flight, a very short one. It will launch from Strange on their Express Mission 3, sorry. And it will test all the critical things that the cube needs to do on space so that we know that all the systems work and are able to sustain the launch and reentry conditions, because we need to have the samples returned to us. For this, well, we're right now on the funding stage of the project. So for the suborbital flight, we're right now on a crowdfunding campaign. We need some of the funds to actually build and manufacture the components. We need to do the systems integration. We need to assemble and test the flight object and then launch it to the SSC. After that, and then give it to SSC for launch and test all of the critical components. After that is done, we need to revise our data, optimize it, and then we will be able to launch to the ISS and do the operations. After that, we simply need to do sample analysis and the results documentation, right? So as I told you, we're right now on a crowdfunding campaign. You can access the campaign via this QR code in here. Or if you, I will also put the link on the chat later. And if you need anything, if you want to know more about the project, if you have any questions, please be sure to write to me. It was a very short presentation, but I believe we were very short on time as well. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them right now.
Excellent. Thank you, Carlos. So does anybody have any questions for Carlos? We could probably take one question. Please go ahead if you do. I personally, I really love this project, Carlos.
Nate?
Yes.
There is one person who raised a hand.
Ah, is there? Okay. Ah, right. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, please go ahead. Ask your question.
Oh, thank you so much. My question is about the crowdfunding, because in our discussion, group discussion, we talk about the funding. And my question in concrete is, Costa Rica has some programs to support space companies, because, well, for all is important the money to develop projects. Is my question. Thank you.
Okay. Well, right now we don't have a system per se. The universities have some funding for projects, but it's very low, especially if it's for student programs. It's about $2,000 per semester, so it's not enough to send something to space. But what we have found is that what we try to do is to sell something to companies, right? So something that will be useful for researchers or something that will be useful to industry. And that way we can ensure that people will collaborate with us in the future. For this particular suborbital flight, we're doing a crowdfunding campaign because we believe we should ask for cooperation with companies and industry once we have tested our technology. So what we're trying to do is send first validate all the technology in a suborbital flight, and then we can talk about doing the experiment in a more serious environment. So that's like the route we're taking right now.